Hello class, this is my presentation. It's in an archival report format. The professor wanted me to compile interviews to report an incident on board the USS Tripoli during the Desert Shield Desert Storm. On a specific day, our ship took a mine hit. The report consists of interviews with former shipmates on the day of the mine strike. When I first talked to the professor about this report, I never would have thought of what it would take to get this project rolling. The amount of anxiety I had to go through for interviews, well, even with my shipmates, was pretty crazy. And but it kind of helped me through this. So as we passed through the interviews, or we relived our past, it was kind of weird that they actually figured out some of the issues they had with their health. Now, as you notice the title, the USS TRIPOLI mine strike, the continuing part of the damage would mean us, myself and my fellow shipmates. And at the caption at the bottom, the ship that took a licking that keeps on ticking, was actually my captain's way of saying that, hey, we're going into the yards, we're going to fix the ship, we're coming right back. I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. And this slide is actually the finding aid information for the archival part. So basically, the finding aid kind of shows you where the focus of the project is. And actually we hit the mine in 1991. But all the effects of, the Gulf War still lingering in us as far as health issues, basically up till today. So I'm going on our next slide. And this slide is the summary of the actual interviews, the actual format. I had it on video first. I interviewed him on Messenger, and then I had converted the files into audio by instruction of the professor, and then when in audio I actually transcribed them into notes or actual interview transcripts, and so they're included in the report. So the first interview was my shipmate Timothy Brinks, the second was Joseph Ray, and the third was Jeffrey Oliver. In each interview, he wanted me to hit keywords. These are just samples of the keywords, but you can actually, I put more on the report. And on this slide, it continues with the summary. I have a 3-page report as a historian analysis over, how the interviews were started with the people I picked and what was the main topic of our discussion, how the effects of that day of the mine strike had continued to affect our health. Each side information is a clear summary of the actual day we struck the mine and how the ship was fixed and the post-war solution to solve the mine crisis out of the Persian Gulf. And it basically gives you all, the information that's needed to actually understand what was fixed. So, like we hit the mine, the ship had a big hole on the side of it. We took it in a dry dock. It was fixed in Bahrain. We were there for 32 days, and then we come right back out. And then the actual mine countermeasure crew of how they went through the actual minefields, and it was technology that didn't exist then that couldn't find these mines. They basically had these helicopters string along these sleds, and it had sonars on it, but they weren't really that effective. They only did it in daytime where they can actually focus on visual or the way they do their plotting, but it wasn't really a secure method. Now these links, as you can see, countermeasures, they've come up with some new highly tech stuff that can find these mines, and they're very effective because now I believe they're very efficient with going in and out of the Persian Gulf. There's probably still one laying somewhere, but who knows, right? And this slide's another continued part of the summary. It gives us, me and my interviewees, my shipmates, an actual guide to information that's needed for the healthcare, or even, the claim for these illnesses, because these are all proven. From the time we went into the Gulf War, out of the almost year we spent there, 9 months of it was actually in the actual Gulf. So when we were there, we saw actual oil wells being burnt. These are the ones that are out at the ocean, and we can see like probably 3 or 4 of them every night, and we can smell the burning fuel. It was almost like we got used to it, because at first it was burning my nose, and now it's like, we got used to just being out there. They never gave us any masks. They never gave us nothing actually to deter any of those fumes. But no matter where we went out there in the whole Persian Gulf near Kuwait, there were these oil wells, and you could see them through the MVGs, or you could probably see them like just this glare off of the horizon, but they were there. Only reason why that those were burning fuel, big ass oil tanks, is because the smell was continuous, man. It stunk, and it actually, I can remember having headaches from it. But that's something that me and my interviewees all understood too well. Yeah. And in closing, this is my last slide. Like a protocol for using these archival records. It's kind of like information that's needed for you to access these records if you're doing a project or research. I put a warning on there too, because Navy people talk crazy. The warning: mature language in interviews. All items are in English. The access and use of this information, and there are things that I don't understand. This project's archival format stuff, and I know professor's going to slap me in the head and say, "Hey, you did it wrong. Do it this way." I guess, but this is why I'm doing it, right? So hopefully he can correct me. I redo this. I don't know. So it's kind of like off the hip. I never did this. It's a great project for me, because not only did I go through a lot of information that I haven't talked about. I haven't talked to nobody about this. I kind of just suppressed a lot of it. So when I actually talked to my interviewees, man, they were bringing memories I couldn't. I'm sitting there just going through anxiety and actual issues, but they were like, "Oh yeah, I talk to everybody about it." It's like, man, that's on you, bro. I don't know how the hell you do it, but I went through some issues, man, like a lot. And well, anyways, this concludes the slideshow. Kind of gave you a rough of how I did my project. I don't know if any of you did it the way I did. I know, thankful for the professor, because well, not only did he have me do something I've never done before, I'm glad he did, because it kind of almost brought some closure of what happened out there, because now I'm going to be keeping in touch with my guys more often. I'm going to try to help them this information, everything I've researched and brought together, for them to just even speak on it, it's going to help them with their claim, because we've all been there. We've all done the same thing. And I'm at 100%. I didn't really, I retired with 80%. So much crap went through my life, man. I mean, but I'm so thankful, Professor, for allowing me to do this, and I'm sure a lot of my shipmates will appreciate you too, because this information weighs a lot if you were to put it through the DAV, who then process it through the BA and actually give some kind of recognition to all the issues that are, like you said, like you mentioned, delayed effects of PTSD or these burn pits, that have a lot of symptoms of the crap that the burn pits brought up, and I never knew I had all that stuff. So it's good to go in and kind of, and yeah, it's funny because 2026 is when everything stops. Oh well, it's a good thing, right? Really appreciate your time, guys. You guys do good out there, man. You get your major and stick and get a good job. I'm done. But aloha and God bless. Take care.